He's got to score. That's all. No, he cannot do it. The Czech Republic.
Too bad I don't play for a Canadian team, though. That would have been even more fun.
It was unbelievable. I'll tell you, that crowd was awesome and one of the best feelings.
Saved his best game for the last. See him out there in the final?
Mike over here too. Mike was in with the. We were in on it. Hold on, Mike. Hold on,
That was the one that was in the ice?
Yeah. That was it. That was it. Look how it's tarnished on one side.
All right.
It's been a month in there.
We're gonna, you know what we're gonna do that? We're gonna put it in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Is that the We're gonna put it in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Put it center ice, 3 inches underneath the ice. Very first day, for good luck for Canada to win the gold. Nobody knew it was there. Except obviously.
Always helps having
A
Canadians.
little bit of luck, having a little Canadian on the ice. Women won gold and men won gold. All right.
Well, I think the feeling that we had really from the Czech game on, first period of the Czech game when we played so well.
Hi, sweetie.
Hello.
How you doing, babe?
Oh,
Yeah, wasn't that good? Yeah. That was terrific. Thanks a lot. Thank you. It was great.
Oh, buddy.
With these guys.
Oh, that was my boy. Oh, what a guy.
That was my boys.
Son, is it heavy?
No, it is heavy. Here, let it go. Oh, how's that? Congratulations.
Congratulations, Rome.
Make us proud.
these 2 weeks, I now know what it's like to be a father or a wife up there or a mother. It's not very good sometimes. But I want to thank all the families for being a big part of this. I know how excited everyone was to be part of this Team Canada, and it'll be something we'll remember forever. And more importantly, it was a great team. 72, we have Henderson, and 87, Mario's goal. That's kind of history you remember, but this team will be remembered as a team and a gold medal winner. So you guys should be very proud of yourselves. You all worked really hard.
It was one of the greatest honors that I could ever have, as somebody asking me to be director of Team Canada. And yet I knew it was going to entail a lot of work.
Whatever we got, you're going to get 100% of it, I can tell you that.
Yeah, they have talent, and yeah, they're good. But first and foremost, they have a love and a passion that goes beyond anything else.
Part of being strong enough to win at the end of the day is dealing with adversity as it comes along.
You gotta have the guts to stand up and be counted for, simple as that. And if you are, you're successful.
All our guys came with one idea, and that was to try to win the gold.
It would be great that we could bring it back to Canada. It would be something really special. I mean, it's time for us. We need to win this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please honor the Olympic medalists for men's ice hockey.
Short pass gets in there. Sakic nearly got it. Here's a shot. Score! In around the net. Centered. Mason stopped the shot. It's in. Yes, that's a goal. Lemieux is in onside. Set up. Goal. Korea open. Korea scores. Nice move down there by Pekka. He's coming up with Gagne. Right in. Scores. Out front, Lindros. Yeah. Here's another goal by Iginla. He was wide open in front and drilled a high shot. Great by Korea. But what a play by Mario Lemieux to fake receiving the pass and allowing to roll into Korea. What a goal that was. It's a 1-1 tie. It comes to Gagne, and away they go. Down that side is Sakic and Gagne. Sakic, pass in front, score! Iginla going to the net. It is Canada 2, USA 1. Back for Jovanovski. He gets set, flipped it over for Sakic, comes in, shot, scores! Joe Sakic faked the pass and took the shot on the short side. And down they come across the line, Sakic and Yzerman. What about this duel? Shot! Score! It's going to be a break. It is Joe Sakic scores! Joe Sakic scores! And that makes it 5-2 Canada. Stand up and cheer, everybody.